All right, here we go. The White House addressing reports of a physical altercation between Elon Musk and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent earlier this year.
I certainly wouldn't describe it as a fistfight, Maria. It was definitely a disagreement. Although I was not there, I didn't witness it with my own eyes. I heard about it through secondhand reporting. But again, we've moved on from that. The president has moved on from it. And the entire administration is focusing on passing this bill.
Yep, but in the midst of Musk's public fallout with the president, our next guest says at least we're arguing over how and where to slash spending, pointing out that just 3 years ago, the only spending talk was about how much would we spend. Wall Street Journal editor James Freeman joins us now. So we know about the physical stuff and people get into that. We already knew they were yelling at each other, body check or not. Your thoughts about the issues that Elon brought up when he exited?
Yeah, well, I think Elon is angry in part because the cutting of the green subsidies went a little further than he wanted. Now, I don't want to knock Elon for that because I think he's really done the taxpayers a great service over the last several months trying to cut federal spending generally. I'm also not expecting him to be in a UFC match with Secretary Bessent anytime soon, and that's probably good for everybody. But yeah, the point I'm making only is, as you point out, the last time Washington did a reconciliation bill, that was 3 summers ago, that was the so-called Inflation Reduction Act. And this new big, beautiful bill is moving entirely in another direction. It's going to end up with the government spending less over the long term. The cuts are not as big as we would like. We hope the Senate goes even further because we obviously have a big debt and deficit problem. But overall, this is about restraining government, lower taxes, lower spending. And I think amid all this kind of personal conflict we've seen the last few days, I think for taxpayers, they should like the big picture in terms of the trajectory here finally turning around on government spending.
I just think for the administration, get people out there that know the bill, that can explain it in everyday terms. And OMB director does a great job, and so does Speaker Johnson. I want you to hear what he said about the fracas and about where they go from here.
Yes.
Look, I didn't go out to craft a piece of legislation to please the richest man in the world. What we're trying to do is help hardworking Americans who are trying to provide for their families and make ends meet. Those are the people that are going to be excited about what this legislation produces.
And that's what they got to do. It's 1,000 pages. Not many people can read 1,000 pages, except for the guys at the Wall Street Journal like you. So they got to put it into everyday terms. Democrats want a different argument. They're not with Elon. They want to just spend like crazy. So they don't even know how to attack except for saying it's a tax break for billionaires. So this is a really Republican on a Republican fight.
Yeah, and the details matter. And again, it would be great to get lower spending out of the Senate. But big picture, the heart of this is maintaining, simply not having a tax increase, but maintaining those great 2017 reforms that President Trump signed the last time he was in office.
Right.
By the way, a lot of this, I would say the heart of the bill is the president keeping campaign promises. Now, some of them I don't think do much for growth. And on policy, I'm not a big no tax on tips guys. I don't know why. I always want to take care of my bartender, but I don't understand why he should get a different tax regime than other people. But basically, this is about growth. Tax Foundation says the economy long term is 0.8% larger after we do this, about 1 million more jobs, preventing tax increases, more than $1 trillion in spending cuts. Government spends less than it would have in the absence of this bill. So very positive for growth. And it continues the really hopeful trend of the last several months, which is a smaller federal government and a larger private economy.
And we're going to find out about codifying the DOGE cuts. They begin this week. So let's see the $9.8 billion. Well, little by little, we'll put them into the budget. So then we'll see DOGE get some tangible results. It's going to be exciting. And I know you want to talk about, too, you don't like the idea of the SALT deduction. And neither does a lot of people in Florida and Texas. So we'll see where this goes. Thanks so much. Go James Freeman. I appreciate it. Read his editorial in the Wall Street Journal. Thanks so much.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.